9 signs you're more attractive than you realize. Old Stoic wisdom. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. Stop scrolling. This might change how you see yourself for good. You might have spent years believing you're average, ordinary, unremarkable in the eyes of women. But what if that story you've been telling yourself is completely wrong? Here's the reality. Most men never hear many genuinely attractive men go through life completely unaware of how magnetic they really are. Not because they're arrogant, far from it. It's because they're too focused on their flaws. They see their thinning hair, their aging face, their career plateau, and they miss the deeper truth. They don't realize how women actually experience them. See, true attractiveness isn't just about looks, money, or being the loudest guy in the room. It's not about six-pack abs or a luxury car. That's surface-level stuff, the kind that fades. The problem isn't that you're not attractive. The problem is that you haven't been taught to recognize the signs. You've been conditioned to believe attractiveness is something flashy and obvious. So when women show genuine interest in subtle ways, you brush it off. You assume it means nothing. Or worse, you don't notice it at all. Today, that changes. Because in a moment, you'll learn 9 clear signs that you're far more attractive than you think. Not the typical pickup artist tips or shallow lists. These are the real markers of quiet confidence and magnetic presence, especially relevant to men in their prime. If even 3 of these signs show up in your life regularly, chances are you're significantly more attractive than you realize. And when you start to see these patterns for what they are, something shifts, your confidence rises, your sense of worth solidifies, and your interactions with women, with everyone, become more natural, more grounded, more authentic. So pay attention. This isn't about ego. It's about self-awareness. And that, my friend, is what makes a man truly powerful. Sign 1. People seek out your opinions and value your input. Stop brushing it off. When people constantly ask for your opinion, even when you didn't raise your hand or clear your throat to speak, that's not an accident. It's a signal, a powerful one. This is a dead giveaway that you're far more attractive than you give yourself credit for, not just in the mirror, but in the mind. According to Old Stoic wisdom, true influence starts with internal strength, not surface shine. So when your presence alone is enough to make others lean in and say, "What do you think?" You're standing in the quiet glow of respect, and that's not something you can fake. Think about it. In group chats, meetings, dinner parties, when the room goes silent and all heads pivot to you for your take, it's not random. Even if you're not the loudest or most animated, your voice carries something deeper. That stillness, that iron mind composure, commands attention. And people feel that. They're not just being polite, they're recognizing a rare kind of presence. It's the type of presence forged from lived experience, thoughtful reflection, and the kind of calm discernment that Stoic principles teach us to cultivate. Attractive men aren't just listened to, they're heard. People remember what you say. They quote you later, not because you shouted the loudest, but because what you said meant something. That's not vanity, it's value. It's the halo effect in motion. When people perceive you as attractive, they unconsciously elevate your judgment. They assume your insights are smarter, your tastes are sharper, your words more trustworthy. So when your friend asks what whiskey to try, or your co-worker wants your opinion on a project you're barely involved in, understand they're not fishing for trivia, they're reaching for clarity from you. Men often overlook this. They think attraction is just about bone structure or biceps. Wrong. It's about resonance. It's about how your presence shapes the space you're in. If people keep turning to you for advice about their breakups, job moves, or even where to grab lunch, don't brush it off as coincidence. This is what happens when someone's inner world is compelling, when it reflects an iron mind, an anchored spirit. Old Stoic wisdom teaches that external respect begins with internal order. And when people instinctively treat your words like gold, it's because you're unknowingly showing them exactly that. And here's the twist that most men miss. This influence isn't limited to things you know well. People might come to you about politics, relationships, business, even if you've never studied a single one of those deeply. Why? Because the way you carry yourself, quietly confident, observant, measured, signals something deeply attractive: trust. That's what Stoic principles shape in a man, a sense of grounded assurance that others crave, especially in today's chaotic, noisy world. So next time someone says, "What do you think?" don't downplay it. That's not just a question, it's recognition. That's your magnetism at work. It's not loud, it doesn't wear cologne, but it pulls people in all the same. Respect it, cultivate it, own it. That's the first quiet sign you're more attractive than you ever realized. And it all begins, as the old Stoics would say, with knowing yourself, mastering your mind, and letting your quiet confidence speak louder than words. Sign 2. You get consistently positive treatment from service workers. This one's sneaky, but once you notice it, you can't unsee it. Ever wondered why the barista remembers your name without ever asking for it twice? Why the waitress gives you an extra smile and an extra dollop of mashed potatoes? Why the cashier leans in, jokes with you, and rounds down your total without blinking? It's not a fluke. It's not just good customer service. It's attraction. Whether you've realized it or not, you're more attractive than you think, and the world responds. But not with fanfare. It's subtler, more human. It shows up in the ordinary, in the way strangers in aprons and uniforms go the extra mile for you without being asked. You get faster service, cleaner tables, better seats, and it happens everywhere, from airport counters to burger joints, from coffee shops to car rentals. This is the real giveaway consistency. It's not just one person being kind, it's a pattern, repeated across places, faces and spaces, different people, different cities, same treatment. That's the signal. That's your proof. And make no mistake, this isn't about vanity. It's biology. It's behavior. It's baked into us. According to the unwritten Stoic rules of life, what nature sets in motion, we must observe, not deny. People unconsciously favor those they find pleasant to look at, to talk to be around, not because they're shallow, but because it's efficient. Attractive people trigger positive emotions, smiles, warmth, cooperation. This is part of what the ancient Stoics understood, though they never said it in these terms. Practical Stoicism isn't about pretending beauty doesn't matter. It's about recognizing it and not being ruled by it. Your looks might open doors, but your character decides whether you walk through them with grace or arrogance. So don't dismiss those moments when the bartender serves you before the guy next to you. Don't brush off the way hotel clerks suddenly find you an upgrade. It's not coincidence. It's cause and effect. People want to please you. They don't always know why, but they do. They'll bend the rules. They'll fix problems faster. They'll offer perks they don't offer others. And it's not because they have to. It's because they want to. But here's where the path of wisdom begins. Don't exploit this. Observe it. Learn from it. Let it humble you, not inflate you. Because what you're seeing isn't just a reflection in the mirror. It's a reflection in them, in the way people light up when you walk in. That's power. That's presence. That's the Stoic version of charm, unspoken, unforced, unshakable. So the next time a barista remembers your order without a word, smile back, not because it flatters your ego, but because it confirms a quiet truth. You're more attractive than you think. You just needed to notice how the world was already telling you. And remember, true attractiveness, real magnetism, is about far more than bone structure. It's about how people feel in your presence, when you're rooted in calm confidence, when you walk the paths of wisdom with a relaxed smile and straight spine. That's when people lean in. That's when life leans in. Don't ignore the signs. Be mindful. Be gracious. And always be grounded in the deeper truth beneath the surface. That's practical Stoicism in action. Sign 3. You receive unexpected compliments and positive comments. Let's get one thing straight. If people keep complimenting you, and you shrug it off as nothing, you're missing a clear sign you're more attractive than you realize. When compliments start showing up out of nowhere, from co-workers, friends, even strangers, it means you've got something. They're not just being polite. It's not small talk. It's a signal. When someone says they like your laugh, your voice, your energy, listen. That's presence. That's impact. When they mention your style, your humor, the way you walk into a room, don't dismiss it. You're leaving a mark. This isn't about vanity. It's about self-awareness. Stoicism, the old wisdom of the Stoics, especially Epictetus, taught us to know ourselves clearly and act accordingly. Know, first, who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly, said Epictetus. That includes recognizing your value when the world reflects it back at you. If you're hearing compliments in different settings, from different people, on different aspects of yourself, it's not a coincidence. It's a consistent pattern. It means people are drawn to you. They see something you may have stopped noticing. It's not always your looks, it's your energy, your voice, the way you treat people, the way you lead with calm confidence. That is stoicism. That is inner strength. That is quiet power. That is what wins. Don't downplay your gifts. Don't pretend not to notice. You must own it. Accept the praise, not for ego, but for clarity. A strong man knows his strengths. He doesn't wait for permission to walk tall. He sees the signs, and he responds with action. People remembering the little things about you, your tone, your warmth, your mindset, means they were moved. And that, my friend, is influence. That's charisma. That's the kind of thing that doesn't fade with time. It grows. In modern life, in a world obsessed with flashy images and empty noise, your authentic presence stands out. You don't need to brag. You just need to be. Walk in with purpose. Speak with intention. Show up fully. When you hear praise, let it fuel you, not embarrass you. That's not arrogance. That's alignment. Let's stop pretending we don't see the signs. Let's stop brushing off the truth that others can clearly see. If you're making a positive impact, if people remember you, if their eyes light up when you walk in, it's not luck, it's who you are. Own it. There's a battle in this world, between noise and value, between surface and depth. You win by knowing your value and living it. You win by practicing stoicism, by choosing discipline over distraction, clarity over confusion, presence over pretense. You win when you stop waiting for outside validation and start recognizing the signs already around you. Epictetus reminded us, no man is free who is not master of himself. So master this truth. If people respond to your presence with genuine appreciation, it's because they feel your strength. That's not something you fake. That's not something you force. That's something you become. Let's get serious. Let's rise. Let's walk like we've earned our place. Because we have. And when you walk like that, with real stoicism, with calm confidence, with grounded power, people notice, they respond, they compliment, and now you'll know why. Don't ignore the signs. Recognize them. Embrace them. Use them. You're not here to hide your power. You're here to win. If you found this insight valuable, hit the like button. Share it with someone who needs a confidence boost. And don't forget to subscribe for more timeless wisdom. Comment to remember my presence leaves a lasting impression. Drop that in the comments to affirm your worth and connect with others who are realizing their quiet power too. Sign 4. People make effort to include you and spend time with you. Don't underestimate how powerful your presence is. Seriously. If people go out of their way to loop you in, to adjust their calendars just so you can make it, pay attention. That's not luck. That's not coincidence. That's a sign. You are, whether you know it or not, one of the magnetic few, the ones whose presence shifts the atmosphere without uttering a word. When you're constantly being asked to show up, when the invitations don't stop, not just tossed your way, but followed up on, nudged, confirmed. It means you've got something rare. You bring weight to a room, an invisible gravity. People orbit around it, and they feel it when you're missing. That, my friend, is the quiet power of real attractiveness, not in the shallow, surface-level sense, but in the deeper resonance you carry. And here's what most men don't realize: this isn't about being the loudest in the room or the flashiest dresser. It's about the iron mind you carry, the self-contained calm that speaks louder than words. Think Old Stoic wisdom. You don't demand attention. You attract it. People feel more grounded when you're present. They feel seen, heard, and steady. You don't even have to say much. Your energy does the talking. That's Stoic principles and action power without noise, depth without display. You walk into a gathering, and suddenly conversations shift, posture straightens, faces brighten. You're the multiplier in the room. You don't take from the moment. You amplify it. Look closer. Have your buddies started syncing plans to your schedule? Do acquaintances reach out just to catch up with no real reason other than they want your company? That's not politeness. That's not filler. That's a signal. Your presence holds value. People feel better when you're near, and they know it, whether they can articulate it or not. They'll say the event's better because you showed. They mean it. That's the social equivalent of gold. This isn't flattery. It's fact. And here's where the Stoic principles sharpen the lens. Don't let your ego inflate. Don't gloat, but don't ignore it either. Recognize the impact you make. Quietly, firmly. Be the man who knows his worth without needing applause. Be the one who can stand in a crowd without speaking and still be the reason the energy shifts. That's old Stoic wisdom distilled into modern relevance. Attractive men. Truly attractive men. Don't chase attention. They create a space where others want to be. That's iron mind discipline, showing up in the most unexpected ways in friendships, in invites, in how people light up when you walk through the door. So if people go out of their way to include you, don't brush it off. Don't pretend it doesn't matter. That is a signal of social magnetism that can't be faked. It's not about charisma you turn on and off. It's about the consistent presence you bring, rooted in values, strength, and a quiet kind of confidence the modern world sorely lacks. Be that man. Keep that edge. Honor the fact that people want you around, and then make sure your presence continues to earn that pull. That's not charm. That's not luck. That's legacy, guided by old Stoic wisdom, reinforced by Stoic principles, and carried by a mind forged in fire, a true iron mind. Sign 5. You notice people looking at you more often than seems normal. Let's not dance around it. You walk into a coffee shop and feel eyes brush over you. A woman glances, then looks again. Someone at the next table keeps sneaking peeks when they think you're not watching. You're out at the grocery store, and suddenly a stranger smiles just a beat too long. You chalk it up to coincidence. You tell yourself, maybe I had something on my shirt. Stop. Don't dismiss it. Don't explain it away. This is one of the clearest, most persistent signs that you're more attractive than you've allowed yourself to believe. No, you're not imagining it. When this happens, not once, but regularly, in different places, from different people, on different days, it's not a fluke. It's feedback, real-time visual confirmation. The world is reacting to your presence. That's the truth, whether or not you've been willing to accept it. They don't just glance. They notice. They remember you. They make eye contact, and they hold it. That kind of response isn't random. It's not discomfort. It's interest. And it's happening because you carry something magnetic. Call it charisma, presence, a certain look in your eyes, a walk that shows you know who you are. Maybe it's the way your silver hair frames a steady jawline, or how your calm demeanor makes others feel safe. You don't need to look like a movie star. You just need to radiate realness. And you do. Why you've been blind to it? Attractive men often don't realize they're attractive. Why? Because you've been raised under certain illusions. You're your own harshest critic. You stare in the mirror every day, looking for flaws. You've normalized positive attention. When people treat you well, you assume it's just politeness. You compare yourself to magazine covers and Hollywood fiction. That's not the standard. That's fantasy. Society told men to be stoic, but forgot to teach them self-recognition. You were told to downplay, stay humble, don't brag. You've spent a lifetime wearing armor, and now, you're surprised when someone sees what's beneath it and likes what they see. These distortions keep you blind to reality. But here's the deal. Practical Stoicism isn't about denying the truth. It's about facing it with clarity. And the truth is, you are seen. You are remembered. You are attractive. Let this shift your perspective permanently. Once you notice the looks, don't just smile and move on. Own the evidence. Let it reshape how you show up in life. Walk into rooms knowing that people do respond to your presence. Let that affect your posture, your tone, your stride. Confidence is not arrogance, it's awareness. And confidence rooted in self-knowledge is Stoic power. The kind of power that doesn't yell, doesn't beg, doesn't prove. It simply is. This changes everything, especially dating. You've been underestimating your value for years. That ends now. This realization transforms how you interpret signals from women. You no longer think, she's just being nice. You understand she's interested. You don't second-guess your appeal. You don't hesitate to start a conversation. You don't wait for permission to feel attractive. You already are. That shift changes your dating life. It shifts how you flirt, how you connect, how you carry yourself. Because when you start seeing what others have seen all along, you become unstoppable. The Stoic path forward: clarity, confidence, and ownership. Here's a little wisdom from the Old Stoics. Those silent masters of the inner game: know thyself. Accept what is real. Act with courage. This is not about ego. It's about truth. You've been walking blind to your own light. Now it's time to see it clearly and let it shine. Remember, the paths of wisdom are not paved with denial. They are lit by awareness. Step onto that path, brother. Walk with the quiet fire of a man who knows his worth. You don't need permission to be attractive. You just need to recognize it. And once you do, that's when everything changes. If you find today's content useful to you, don't forget to share your feelings and lessons with us. Or simply comment, "Very cool." It's a great encouragement for our channel makers. Thank you very much. Sign 6. Strangers open up to you easily. Don't ignore this. When people you've just met start revealing their pain, their hopes, their past, you're witnessing something rare. You're not just another face in the crowd. You're a presence, a calm force, a walking sense of permission. That's not luck, it's power. It's silent influence. When strangers feel safe enough to expose their truth in your company, it means your aura commands trust. Your presence disarms fear. You create a pocket of calm in a world obsessed with noise. That's not softness, that's strength. Emotional attractiveness is real, and it's mightier than physical appearance. And most men never even realize they have it. But you're beginning to, and that changes everything. You see, the Stoics, those ancient warriors of inner mastery, understood this. Epictetus, a man born a slave and later regarded as one of the greatest Stoic minds, taught that real influence begins not in dominance, but in self-possession. Seek not for events to happen as you wish, but wish for events to happen as they do, and your life will go smoothly. Apply this here. You're not chasing attention. You're attracting revelation. People feel grounded in your steadiness. They sense something in you they don't find in others. A man who listens, not just hears. A man who watches, not just looks. A man who understands before judging. That kind of power is silent, invisible, but it shakes the soul. You must realize this is no accident. When others lean into you, share with you, break their mask around you, it means you're winning at a deeper game. A game that doesn't need applause to declare victory. In a world starving for authenticity, you radiate it. That's the Stoic win. You don't chase attention, you embody value. Your warmth is a weapon. Your empathy is influence. And whether you realize it or not, you're walking with a kind of stoicism that rewrites rooms and shifts atmospheres. Own it. Don't brush this off. Society teaches men to measure their worth by physical dominance, loud success, or social status. But that's surface-level noise. Real men build presence. Real men make others feel seen. Real men are remembered by how safe they made people feel. That's how leaders are born. That's how legacies begin. Let's be clear. When people open up to you quickly, they're sensing a strength in you that's spiritual, not superficial. They're trusting your emotional gravity. That's no small thing. That's a calling. So answer it. Take this sign as proof. Proof that your emotional intelligence, your quiet confidence, your ability to be fully present, these are not side traits. These are king traits. Traits of a man who knows how to hold space without forcing it. Traits of a man who doesn't panic in silence. Traits of a man who stands where others crumble. The world needs more of that. The world needs you. So double down. Don't second-guess your gift. Don't underestimate your energy. Don't let the world convince you that emotional openness is weakness. It's mastery. It's depth. It's stoicism in motion. Epictetus would call it power over self. And that, my friend, is the rarest win of all. Sign 7. People mirror your behavior without realizing it. Don't overlook the small things. That subtle shift in body posture, that echo of your laugh, that uncanny way someone starts using your catchphrases like they've been saying them for years. This isn't coincidence. It's mirroring, a powerful, silent signal that you're more magnetic than you think. Mirroring is when someone subconsciously imitates your gestures, tone, expressions, even the rhythm of your words. They're not doing it to flatter you. They don't even realize they're doing it, but their unconscious mind has made the decision for them. Why? Because we mirror those we feel connected to, those we admire, or, more specifically, those we're attracted to. It's biology mixed with psychology. And if it's happening to you often, it's not random. You're not just someone in the room. You are the room. You have presence. Now, a man with an iron mind doesn't get cocky about this. He notices, he registers, but he stays rooted. That's old Stoic wisdom in action. Don't let the world's reflection of you become your ego's playground. Let it be confirmation, not confusion. You must understand when someone adjusts their body language to match yours. It's not just flattery, it's alignment. When they lower their voice because you've dropped yours, or lean in when you speak, they are signaling something deep. Respect, interest, maybe even admiration. This is not always romantic. Sometimes it's social, sometimes professional. But either way, it means you're in a position of gravity. People orbit you. Be aware of these signals. Don't chase them. Notice them. That's the core of Stoic principles. Observe reality without ego, without exaggeration, and without apology. If someone mirrors your posture, say, folds their arms when you do, shifts their weight like you just did, or laughs right after you do, it's because your behavior sets the tone. You lead without trying to. That is attractive. It's the kind of invisible charisma most men don't even know they have. It slips under the radar but leaves a lasting imprint. You must cultivate this quietly. Stay grounded. Don't puff your chest out. Be the man who doesn't need to say much because the room already feels his presence. Be the one who lives by Stoic principles, who doesn't need validation but notices the cues when they come. That's power. And that's what makes you dangerously appealing. Not loud, not flashy, but quietly undeniable. Think of it this way. The more people reflect you, the more impact you carry. And impact, real impact, doesn't come from noise. It comes from steadiness, from a man who knows who he is and doesn't flinch when the world tries to test that. That is the essence of the iron mind. You don't need the crowd to cheer. You only need to watch how they adjust themselves when you walk in. And if their movements start to resemble yours, if their words carry your cadence, then you already know the truth that you're not chasing validation. You're leading the rhythm. So next time someone starts picking up your habits, your phrases, your pace, don't dismiss it. Don't second-guess it. Just smile inwardly. That's old Stoic wisdom whispering to you you're more attractive than you realize. If you've ever seen someone copy your posture, echo your words, or subtly match your energy, you're not imagining things. That's a powerful, unconscious sign they're drawn to you. This isn't coincidence. It's a reflection of your natural presence and quiet influence. Comment this below to affirm it. I carry a presence others naturally align with. Let it be a reminder of your silent strength and how much more you are than you realize. Sign 8. People are curious about your relationship status. You're at a cookout, or maybe it's a work conference, or the gym. You're just existing, holding a drink, minding your business, when someone tilts their head, smirks, and says, "So, are you seeing anyone?" Don't brush that off. That's not small talk. That's a signal. When people are curious about your relationship status, it means you're not invisible. You've stirred something, admiration, fascination, maybe even attraction. People don't ask questions like that to wallpaper. They ask it to someone they notice and can't quite figure out. It's not just what they say, it's how they say it. That sly tone, that knowing smile, the casual remark like, "I bet the ladies don't leave you alone." These aren't compliments in disguise. They're tells, subtle admissions that you're giving off more than you realize. You are radiating something quietly powerful. This kind of attention isn't always about raw looks. It's deeper than that. It's about presence, dignity, a kind of seasoned energy that comes with living on the paths of wisdom. You carry yourself with calm. You listen before you speak. You're confident, but not loud. You're interesting without begging for attention. That is the essence of practical Stoicism. People sense it, they're drawn to it, and they want to know, is this man available? Don't downplay this, recognize the signal. Too many men dismiss these interactions. You shrug and say, they're just being polite. Don't. That's a mistake. Don't underestimate your own impact. These aren't random moments, they're patterns, and patterns mean something. You're attractive, not just physically, but in your manner, your maturity, and your mystery. That's rare, and rare things get attention. Your energy speaks louder than words. Even if you're not actively trying to be charming, you may be projecting emotional availability, wisdom, or quiet strength. That's no accident. It comes from years of experience, self-reflection, and choosing the harder right over the easier wrong. In other words, you're following Stoic rules without realizing it. You're showing restraint. You know who you are. You've endured. You've grown. That inner work doesn't go unnoticed. It radiates. It's not about being flashy. It's about being solid. Be mindful of how you're perceived. Now, this doesn't mean you have to start swinging your dating life around like a trophy, but it does mean you should pay attention to how people react to you. The curiosity about your relationship status is a soft form of validation. Don't ignore it. Accept it with grace. Respond with dignity. Be flattered, but don't be flippant. Because underneath those questions, people are really asking, what's your story? How are you still so composed, grounded, and attractive? Are you available, or is all that strength already claimed? Live like a man who knows his worth. Whether you're single, divorced, widowed, or partnered, remember this when others are curious about your love life. It's a reflection of the energy you're putting out into the world. That energy doesn't come from chasing, it comes from building, from choosing the paths of wisdom, from walking the line between stillness and strength. So when they ask, are you taken? Smile, not smugly, not sheepishly. Smile like a man who knows the value of silence, of substance, and of self-mastery. Because when people want to know your relationship status, it means you're already unforgettable. Sign 9. People remember small details about you. You may not notice it, but when people recall small things you've said, your favourite, a joke you cracked in passing, a story you shared once and forgot, that's no accident. It's not just memory, it's proof that you made an impact. We don't hold on to details about people who blend in. We remember those who stand out. That's not coincidence, that's power, that's presence, that's attractiveness. When someone brings up a tiny moment you dismissed or quotes you from a throwaway conversation, it means your words, your energy, your essence landed, and it stuck. That is one of the clearest signs that you carry weight in a room, even if you don't always realize it. This isn't about vanity. It's about value, your value. And make no mistake, this kind of presence is rare. It's unforgettable. Don't brush it off. Don't downplay it. Recognize it. Use it. Own it. It means you have a kind of gravity. It means you live in a way that others notice, admire, and remember. We are not disturbed by what happens to us, but by our thoughts about what happens, said Epictetus. When others remember your words, it means your presence redefined their moment. That's Stoic power. That's legacy-level impact. In a world drowning in noise and distraction, the man who can be remembered wins. The man who carries himself with quiet fire, focused intent, and unshakable calm becomes impossible to ignore. That's what the ancients knew. That's how Stoicism wins. Not through shouting, but through strength. Not through force, but through force of character. If people remember what you said, you didn't just talk. You spoke truth. You spoke like a man who means what he says and lives what he believes. Let's be clear, this isn't about trying to be liked. It's about being respected. It's about commanding attention through quiet confidence. Your attractiveness comes not from chasing approval, but from earning memory. That's what a Stoic would understand. Epictetus didn't waste breath. Neither should you. Speak less, but make it matter. Live sharper, be present, make every word and action count. That's how Stoicism wins in modern life. Not through scrolling, not through complaining, but by being a man of presence, a man of value, a man of steel beneath the surface. That is how you become unforgettable. That is how you master yourself and win respect from others. So don't ignore the signs. When people recall your words, they're showing you your power. When they quote you, they're confirming your influence. When they remember what you forgot, they're proving you matter. That's victory. That's a signal that you are seen, heard, remembered. In a world where most people are forgotten the moment they leave the room, you remain. That is rare. That is real. That is strength. And strength, when channeled with wisdom, becomes leadership. Be the man who leaves an echo. Be the man who lingers in minds. Be the man who lives by principles, not approval. As Marcus Aurelius said, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Presence, principle, power. That's how you win. That's how Stoicism wins. That's how you become unstoppable. Thanks so much for watching. Remember, if people consistently treat you well, compliment you, or want to be around you, that's not just luck, that's a sign. You're more attractive than you've been giving yourself credit for. So here's my sincere advice. Stop brushing it off. Don't minimize your value just because you don't always see it in the mirror. Attractiveness is more than appearance. It's in your energy, your presence, and how you make others feel. So own it. Let that confidence shape how you show up every day. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.